Yeah, so I thought some folks might be interested in seeing how to set beautiful e-ink friendly icons on the Boox Palma. This is actually a Palma 2, or perhaps on other Boox devices as well. It's pretty easy to do, but a lot of the tutorials or instructions about this that I found online didn't really give a lot of information about whether it was possible to do it directly on the device, which speeds up the process for me a lot, or where to get icons that would be good. So I've got this pretty well worked out. You can see from all the different apps I have installed here. I'll show a couple of other pages of apps. And so I really like to have a nice, consistent e-ink friendly look. But you can see an app here that I just downloaded. I'm switching from Goodreads over to hardcover, and this app, has a pretty ugly icon on e-ink. It's pretty dark. Didn't get the focus there. Well, you get the idea. So I'd like to give that a nicer icon. So here's what I usually do. First thing is I'll try to see if an icon is available for that on uh, an icon pack, an open source icon pack called Arctic Icons. So you can just go to arcticicons.com in your web browser and you'll find their website here. They have a pretty nice setup designed, I think, for folks who are into theming their Android phones. They've got tons and tons and tons of icons in both light and dark. We want dark. But actually, their website isn't really the easiest place to get the icons themselves. The normal process, if you're on a typical phone, is you download their app and then it can integrate with a bunch of different launchers, but that doesn't work on Boox. So we actually need to search for the icon directly. And I found the easiest way to do that is to go to their GitHub page. I have this bookmarked, but you can find it by going to their webpage here and going to GitHub. And then I'll usually just search their GitHub repository for the name of the icon that I'm looking for. So here, I'm trying to do this from my phone here, one sec. So I'll just add to the end of the search here to search for hardcover. And unfortunately, it does not look like that particular app has an icon on their pack. Their pack has thousands of icons. I guess I need to put in a request for this one. So I'll have to find a different book icon that I like for this. And so you can see I just did a search for the book, and you can search through their whole repository. You'll see things are arranged like this, Arctic icons, whatever. You want to look for things that say black. They have the same set of icons with white or light, and those are white on transparent. That won't work. We need the black version. This one looks fine to me, book_alt. Very often when you do a search, you'll find something that's specifically for your app. I'll just show you a quick example. Another one that I tried to do recently was Duolingo. And you can see that we've got multiple different options here. We would want black Duolingo or black Duolingo Alt. These are two different versions of the icon. And if you tap on one of these, you'll see it'll load up that icon and we can take a look at it before we decide we want to use it. And if we wanted that, we could use that. Here, I'm going to go ahead and go back. So here's that book icon. I'm going to go ahead and use this for my hardcover app. Maybe they'll get a nicer icon for hardcover. But here I'll tap and hold on this, and I'm going to save the image. I'm using Firefox, by the way. Your browser may be a little bit different. Now you can see that this is downloaded as an SVG. This won't work without converting it. So I'm only going to be using free and open source apps for this process. But next thing we're going to need to do is convert that into a file that we can use. So I'm going to be using a image converting app called Image Toolbox. You can see it's got a nice icon here, but this is available on the F-Droid store. I like this app quite a bit for just sort of basic image conversion. It's pretty easy to use, and it does what we need to do in one step. So we want to open it up and use the second option here to resize and convert. Then we pick the icon that we want. Now this is just showing me all the different images that it can find on my device. I'm just going to choose this one. You can choose multiple here, by the way. This is, if you're doing a whole lot of these, you can go through and say, I want to do all of these at once, and that makes this a lot faster, but we're only doing that one. And then there's a couple things we need to adjust here. So first is that I need to change the size. These come in very large, so this needs to be the Boox icon size of 122. Oops, let me fix that. uh, 122 by 122. Looks okay. Now I'm going to save that, and I'll just hit this save icon here, and it will save and convert. You can see it does a little confetti there. Done. And you can see that it's saving to the documents folder. You can change that, I think, in the settings. I haven't bothered. So now what we need to do is get that file, and we need to rename it and put it somewhere. So I am going to first, but before we do that, we need to know what we need to name it. So I actually need to go into a different app. I have this here under System Utilities. You can do this in a bunch of different ways, but we need to get something called the bundle ID or the like package ID for the app that we're going to be changing the icon of. There's a lot of different ways to find that. I use this app called Package Manager. You can also get this from F-Droid. It's a sort of a toolkit app with a bunch of different things that it can do. But one of those is that if I search for an app like hardcover, and I can find it here. There's the package ID. Sometimes they're very reasonable, like that hardcover.app. Other times they are very long and complicated. And now I want to copy that. So I'm just going to tap and hold on it and copy it. Okay. So now we need to go into the files system. I am using material files or material file manager. This is a different file manager than the default Boox one. You can do this in the regular Boox one as well. That's perfectly fine. But I like this one on e-ink screens. I think it looks better and gives me more options. I'm going to go down here to the documents folder, which is where the image editor that we just used saves its work. And I'm going to resized images. And here is the result. It's the image file. Oh, by the way, I didn't mention it while we were on that image resize and convert thing. I think it's set to PNG by default, but if it's not, you need to make sure it's set to PNG. This is what Boox expects for icon files. It's a PNG and it's 122 pixels squared. So now I'm going to rename this, and I need to give it the name of that bundle ID that we copied earlier. I just pasted it in there. And I can't just leave it just like that. We have to replace all of the periods apart from the one before PNG with an underscore character like this. And sometimes there'll just be one like this, but more often there'll be 2 or 3 periods in the name or in the bundle ID that you need to replace with underscores. I'll hit OK there. So now I've got my bundle or package ID.png. Last thing we need to do is put this into the folder that Boox uses for that. So I'm going to cut here, and then we're going to go back to, weirdly, they put this in the downloads folder. So we'll go to download, and you'll see there's a folder here called Onyx. You can see some SVGs that I can throw those away, by the way. You only need the, once I've done this, I don't need the one that's still in here anymore. But I'll go into Onyx and then icon, and you'll see I've got all these icon files in here. These are the different icons for the various different apps. And I just need to paste this file in here. Here, I'll just hit the paste button. And now that is in here along with all of my other icons. Now, unfortunately, it doesn't instantly update. So if I go back to this screen, you'll see it's still using that old icon. I need to relaunch the home screen in order for it to update the icons. You can just restart your phone to get this to happen. But another way to do that I find is a little quicker is if you have an app like that same app I was using before, the package manager. Many of these apps will let you relaunch an app. I'm going to do that here. I'll go to System, and I'll search for Content Browser. This is the name of the launcher or home screen that Boox uses. So to quickly get it to reload, we can go in here, tap on App Info, and then I can hit Force Stop to give me a warning here. That's okay. And then I'll go back to the home screen, and it'll relaunch. And now that it's done that, there, it's now using that new icon. Now, I know that sounded like a lot of steps while I was going through it, but really, once you've done that a couple of times, it is literally just a minute or two, and you can see how, went through and added these icons for basically everything. It's pretty rare that I run into an app like this hardcover app where they don't already have an icon for it. So if you search for your app by name, they'll almost always have them in that in this Arctic Icons pack. And almost all of these look really good on eink. They're all black line art on a white background. So for example, if I wanted to get one for, Chrome, we can search for it. You'll see a bunch of icons are coming up here. There's Google Chrome.svg. We want the black version. That's a beta one. I guess that's fine. But you can see you can get those icons for practically any app that you might want to install, and it's really easy to get those onto the Boox launcher, and they look great. Um, there you go.